Yeah, along that line, because I wanted to ask, a lot of people, maybe they're in high school, right, want to start a YouTube channel,
right?
But they're nervous just because, like, what if their videos are cringy and shit, and then, you know, you got all your high school friends or acquaintances watching it. So did you feel that at all when you first started your channel? And, like, how did you kind of push through that if you did feel it?
So, yeah, well, because, like, when I started, you know, I remember when I started doing the, like, gaming stuff or, like, skit stuff, I was, like, in the freshman classes. I remember just going up to people and, like, it's like, oh, yeah, it was crazy. Like, the other day I was, you know, filming some YouTube stuff. It was, you know, fun. And just, like, it's like, oh, you have a YouTube? It's like, oh, yeah, it's just... It's nothing. It's just Brasma.
It's nothing.
No, please go. Please subscribe. I'm at 20. I need 21. Please. No, yeah. But it was definitely a little bit awkward because there's... I never truly knew, but there's like always a feeling where, you know, you're doing stuff that's kind of like, you know, abnormal. You know, like when you're doing skits, it's like a really vulnerable thing where you're like trying to do comedy. And if the comedy doesn't hit... And I'm telling you, I don't think my comedy really, at that time at least, I didn't feel like very solid.
Comedy's scary to do.
It is so scary. I didn't realize, like, going into it, doing skits is horrendously difficult because, you know, like, having a funny idea in your head is one thing, but, like, actually, like, having the joke hit, you know, and then really have that go and, like, have all the editing and the timing of it. It's just, it's so much. And, there's a certain point where I started to feel like, when people would talk, you know, like I would talk about that stuff, it started to become less of like, oh, the channel, it's like, oh yeah, it's Brasma.
Oh yeah, people started calling you it.
Really?
You got a bit of a fan base at school.
It was fun, but also at the same time, I mean, to give you something, like, I had family members literally that would only call me Brasma for like...
Oh, family members?
Literally, like, there was like a chunk of time where it's just like, you know, go to like family dinners, it's like, oh my gosh, what's up, Brasma? I'm like... That's not okay. But
that's not okay.
No, but I don't know. I do think it's really hard to do stuff like that early on because you have all of these people around you that, you know, around high school, you're starting to also trying to build like friendships and connections, and you're trying to get used to who you are, and you know, having alongside that, really having an exposed part of yourself, you know, doing content and like entertainment. It can be difficult because sometimes people can be like at around that age kind of can be ruthless, you know?
Yeah.
It's...
Well, I also feel like in high school, right?
Yeah.
There's like these popular people, right? And then they have something like they think things are cool and certain things aren't cool or certain things are like cringe shit like that, right? So when you're at school and that's like kind of the popular thing, right? Mm-hmm. You might make a YouTube video that has certain comedy or something that doesn't fit that. So you might be discouraged because like that's the only world you know really when you're in high school.
Right.
But you don't know that there's potentially a whole community of people online that would find your shit funny as hell. It just doesn't happen to be the main funny thing at your high school. You
know, I like as I went along, I kind of started like trying to get to the mindset of like what I do, the people I'm around, you know, at the very least, you know, maybe the supportive people, they can enjoy my content or whatever. But, you know, the people that I'm around, they, you know, aren't guaranteed to like what I do or laugh at the jokes I tell. But like, the content that you put out there, there's someone in the world that's bound to like what you do. You know, like there's a joke that's with someone in the world, it's gonna land. You know, and there's an audience for anything. So I don't know. I started to kind of like, you know, when I was doing more skit stuff in the latter half of it, it kind of started to get more that mindset where, you know, I wanted to make skits for, you know, people that I knew and, you know, I thought it'd be funny to share, but at the same time, you know, I try to like focus less about the opinions of the people that I go to school with because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to like impress or like the content isn't for the random people I see at school, like in my random, you know, chem class. You know, it's just, you know,
you're just advertising Brasma.
I did. I was so shameless, and I shouldn't have been.
It's like, hold on, teacher, I just got an announcement today.
Okay, it was so funny. Actually, I think one time in chemistry. Well, first off, I think it was sophomore year, my chemistry class. My teacher did not like me, nor our side of the class, because we were close actually. We talked a lot, and there'd be times where I'm like, oh my god, and I was starting to do music stuff around that time a little bit, and I'd be like, just like, oh my gosh, we're doing this music thing, and then, you know, teacher would walk by like, what are you guys? I'm doing a lecture. Like, can you save that to the end of the class? It's like,
damn, right. Shameless promotion right there.
Dude, I mean, hey, like 10 extra subs is 10 extra subs, you know? It's just hard. But yeah, I think all in all, I starting content super young, or no, I didn't start super young, but relatively early. It's just it comes with its challenges, but I also say it's super rewarding because when you start, younger, by the time you get to the point where like you're in college or you're away from those groups of people, you already have like a set of knowledge and a set of skills, that you've got built.